warfare. This film is directed and written by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. Garland's most notable works is Civil War, his last film he did, Annihilation, and Ex Machina. Now the film follows in real time a platoon of Navy SEALs on a mission through insurgent territory during the final stages of the Battle of Ramon. And starring in the field is D'Pharaoh Woon-A-Tai, Will Portner, Cosmo Jarvis, Kit Connor, Finn Bennett, Taylor John Smith, Michael Gandolfini, and a few more noticeable faces that you've seen in film and in television. Now, one of the first things about this movie that I want to talk about is the tension and the atmosphere. On the edge of my seat throughout the whole movie, especially after the first IED went off in the movie. I've seen my share of military films, you know, in my time, you know, Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan, you know, the most noticeable stuff that, you know, people always talk about. But the interesting thing about this movie, it felt more like a bottleneck film, especially since you are following them within close quarters within a house that they seized from a family. And also just seeing the more of the procedural things that they go through as working as a unit with their non-verbals, their verbals, and just how they have to work together, you know, just within the closed quarters of the house, which is, you know, cool to see. And then also there is no music throughout the whole movie. I kind of appreciate that little touch just from the filmmakers that they made, so it felt like more of a real environment. And it even though it is a film, it feels more of like you are following these soldiers around, going from place to place, somewhat not more like a documentary, but just more kind of from like over the shoulder shots, and you're just following these soldiers, you know, like I said, from place to place. Speaking of the tension throughout the film, to me, one of the standout actors was Cosmo Jarvis. He played one of these snipers, played a soldier that was a part of the platoon, and his specialty was a sniper. And I thought they did an excellent job showing from his perspective of what he was looking for, how he had to communicate, him being in long stances for a long time, being in the sniper rifle position. Just also just having that build up to when everything goes down and basically when shit hits the fan. And even though I talked about Jarvis as one of the actors that I liked, I felt like everybody in this movie did a phenomenal job. I feel like whenever you do see this movie, everybody will have maybe their standout person, and you know, rightfully so. And like I said, I thought everybody did an amazing job just through their acting, their emotions. Earlier, like when, you know, the IED goes off and, you know, shit hits the fan, that was a very just gut-wrenching, intense scene, because you don't know who made it, who was injured, like I said, who was killed, what the status was of everyone. And also just seeing the reactions and the cause and effect of everything, because I mean, at least just always from like reading about PTSD with soldiers and just things of that nature, and things that happened in the middle of war, and showed how people would react in real time if a situation like that happened when they're not in control of anything. And on the production side of everything, I thought Alex Garland directed a fabulous movie. I enjoyed the direction that the movie was going in from beginning to end, just with the buildup of the tension throughout everything that was going on, and especially how he utilized overhead drone shots, and when you see the firefights and you see the technique and the training and the strategies and how they have to work as a unit, so not just just so they can survive to get out of the situation they're in. Even like at the beginning when they show the team infiltrate these people's homes, and you see how they have to work as a unit without basically using any type of verbiage to get inside and take over the house. And like I said, it was just cool kind of seeing all of that. So with the suspense and being on the edge of my seat, I saw it in a really nice surround sound theater. It had really great sound, so I would recommend, if you do see it in like a theater that has a good sound system. I believe this is an IMAX. I can only imagine how it would be just with some of the sound, especially with the dog fights, the firefights, and just some of the overhead aerial plane shots that they used, which was really used effectively throughout the movie. Now, one thing I kind of want to touch on, because I didn't really do enough background on this area. So Ray Mendoza, one of the co-directors and one of the writers on the film, he's actually in the film. He was in this event when it happened, and I know how real life events that be adapted into film or television can be changed, because of people's names and things. So it's like I can only kind of take everything that happened, I guess, like with a grain of salt, with the events that happen in the film. But I feel like that shouldn't take anything away from your experience of watching the movie. Just thought it was just something, just kind of, just for y'all to know. My overall verdict with everything, man, I was stressed out at the end of this movie with everything that was going on, and not in, a bad way. I think this is a excellent film from a production standpoint, from a directing standpoint, from a writing standpoint. I thought all the actors in this movie knocked it out of the ballpark. I could empathize for the soldiers in the predicament that they were in, and just like I said, watching the movie, I was just rooting for them to get out of the situation that they were in. And like I said, overall, this was a great military film, great thriller, suspense, bottleneck film under that genre. So I would highly recommend people to go check this movie out. And also, just on a side, because after even going out of the theater, I felt like I was kind of like in like a kind of in a shell shock from everything I saw. And I was just thinking about just like the soldiers that serve our country, and currently, in the past, and even just for the people in the future that will eventually serve. And I just want to thank them for all of the things that they do, for the sacrifices that they make, not just for this country, but for their for their friends and families, and for the people that they protect for this country. I just want to just give a salute to them, and all the military out there. So that's my review of Warfare. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell me how you guys felt about it. If this is your first time coming to the page, thank you for listening to this review. And if you guys liked what you guys heard, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be bringing you more content within the foreseeable future. Thank you guys again, and have a good one.